Life Hacks here, and I will be giving you tips on how to travel cheap. If you want to travel but have a tight budget, watch this video for 9 amazing tips on how to make it all work. Tip number 1 is to be flexible. If you don't care when you're going or where you're going, you'll be able to find awesome deals. Now, a cool thing about Google Flights is that you can put your city in and set the destination to everywhere. From there, just choose the cheapest flight. A key rule of thumb is to book your flight 3 to 4 months out. This is the best time to book a flight because airlines look at how full a plane is and will either drop or raise its prices. To get even cheaper deals, choose to travel in the off-season. After flights, accommodations are the most expensive part. This brings us to tip number 2. There are fantastic alternatives to a fancy hotel. There are hostels, Airbnb, couchsurfing, and many more. These are excellent ways to stay with locals for free and potentially make a new friend. Check the video description below for a list of websites and resources. I will also later dive into how to get free accommodation with just a little bit of work. Tip number 3 is to get food from grocery stores. A lot of people underestimate how much money it takes to eat at restaurants. Buy your ingredients, make your meals, and enjoy it under a waterfall or on a mountain. Tip number 4 is to work while traveling. Traveling is an opportunity to take a unique job you may not usually do. Become a sheep herder, or work for a hostel and get free accommodation. Another alternative is to house sit. You can check out housecareers.com or mindmyhouse.com for postings in several different countries. Finding a gig like this is golden. You'll get free accommodation in exchange for watering some plants and walking a dog. You may also be interested in woofing. In a nutshell, Worldwide Opportunities on Organic Farms is an international network of organic farmers who from time to time offer opportunities for volunteers to join them. Contact the WOOF office in the country you wish to visit. A small membership fee gives you access to lists of member farms in that country. For more information about national branches and membership, see woof.org. Now, this is a good deal. Room and board is often provided in exchange for help on the farm. And if you're lucky, they may even let you eat some fruits and vegetables on the house. Tip number 5 is for finding cheap transportation. First, look into the public transportation system of the country you want to visit. Now this may include trains, subways, buses. In countries like Ecuador, we'll even have buses that go to every major city. Just be careful of when you board, and as a safe rule of thumb, keep your luggage with you at all times. Another alternative is to carpool or hitchhike. Carpooling and hitchhiking rides are both great ways to meet some local characters. They're also eco-friendly and cheaper than riding alone. Some travelers advertise on travel forums, and there are websites specifically dedicated to this kind of ride sharing listed in the video description below. Rides can also be advertised at hostels and other venues where travelers congregate. While it requires slightly more planning than hitchhiking, carpooling is likely a safer option. You can meet the person in advance of the trip, preferably in a public place, as well as check their references, photo ID, and phone numbers. Though of course, in some parts of the world such as Cuba, hitchhiking is just part of the way of life. Tip number 6. Take advantage of stopovers. If you have a connecting flight, call the airline and see if you can extend your stopover a week or two. This is essentially a free flight at the stopover. The 7th tip is to travel where your money goes further. Countries where the cost of living is cheaper will allow you to spend more money and get more bang for your buck. Regions like Southeast Asia and South America are fantastic places to travel to on a budget. You get to experience different climates, cultures, and sceneries.
Tip number 8 is to be picky with the souvenirs. This is an easy tip to learn, but one of the hardest to practice. One of the easiest ways to save money while you're traveling is to steer clear of the souvenir shops. Most often, the goods are mass-produced in another country entirely and lack the authenticity that you're probably looking for. Even if you find yourself coveting a trinket that is real, ask yourself these questions. Is it an accurate representation of the place I am visiting? Will I use it? Will I remember this trip by virtue of owning this souvenir? Was I planning on buying something like this anyway? If you even think twice about answering yes to these questions, it is best to reconsider your purchase. Instead of leaving yourself to chance and impulse, why not put a little purpose into your souvenir shopping? Before leaving for your trip, choose 1 or 2 items that for you will encapsulate the trip and the destination. Then spend your traveling days searching for the perfect artifact. If the whole family is planning, allow everybody to choose their own souvenir. It gets other family members involved in the trip planning process and will minimize the children's unnecessary requests for, "Can I have this, and this, and this?"
The 9th and final tip on traveling on a budget is to avoid the alcohol. Alcohol is where budgets go to die. Just don't. So these are the tips for traveling cheap. Be flexible and find cheap airfare, find cheap accommodation, eat the local foods, work while traveling, compare the countries' transportation options, take advantage of stopovers, travel where your money goes further, be wary of souvenirs, and avoid the alcohol. If you want any more information, comment below, and if you have learned something new, be sure to hit the like and subscribe button. Happy traveling, my friends.